Yo, what's up, what's up? We here again with another Sane African production, TAY Edition. TAY Edition is transitional age youth. We're here to give the black youth a voice and let them spit their darts. So, who am I here with today? State your name for the camera.
My name's Arshuad.
Arshuad. Nice to meet you, Arshuad. How old are you?
19.
19. So we got a teenager coming in to we got a young black man in training, we would say that. So, Arshuad, who is Arshuad?
Can you clarify on that?
Yeah, like, who is Arshuad? Like, who are you? How do you describe yourself?
I'll say I'm confident, I'm energetic, and that's pretty much.
Pretty much, okay, confident, energetic. All right, where you from?
I'm from Moreno Valley, California.
Okay, what's it like coming up in Moreno Valley as Arshuad or as a young black man? How's the Moreno Valley treated you?
Pretty simple, you know. It's a medium-sized town, but it's not a big city, so not a lot goes on here.
Okay, so what would you say was your best experience of growing up in Moreno Valley?
I only lived here till I was about like 9 or 10.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I've lived in like 4 or 5 different cities.
Okay, like what cities?
I've lived in Paris, Chemist, Corona, and including Moreno Valley.
Okay. So out of all those cities, what has been the best in the IE? Because the IE is a new bubbling place. Like when I was your age, the IE was building. Like Moreno Valley, wasn't many people out here. Corona's been popping since like the late 90s, early 90s. San Bernardino was getting built up, but it's been popping since like the 80s, late 80s. That's why, you know, it looks how it is now.
Yeah.
But Moreno is fairly new, so it's crazy to see how much Moreno Valley has been built up over the years. But it's dope. So what would you say has been the best city you lived in outside in the IE?
I'll say Chemist.
Chemist? Wow, Chemist. Chemist's way out there. That's like desert land. Why Chemist?
Because of all the memories that I've had with my friends.
Okay. What memory can you give us of Chemist? Because a lot of people ain't even heard of Chemist.
Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere. I'll say from like hanging out with my friends on the street to
running the streets.
No, hanging out, just kicking it.
What do you define as hanging out and kicking it in 2021 as a 19-year-old? I'm so curious because you know when my kicking it may not be your kicking it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious because I'm out of touch.
Yeah. I'll say playing football, playing different sports.
Okay.
In the city.
Traveling the city, just running around the streets.
Yeah.
Okay, I dig that. So I would say, you know, high school, you're not that far removed. When did you graduate?
I graduated in 2019.
2019. Okay, so that's 2 years ago. How has the transition been from high school to where you are now? Like, what do you do now after high school?
I work at Walmart right now.
Okay, how's that?
They treat me pretty well.
Treat you pretty well? You making your own money?
Yeah.
How is it, how do you feel just making your own money as a young man? How does that feel for you?
It feels pretty good that I'm able to provide for myself. I don't have to depend on nobody.
Okay, and that's always a good thing too, man. You gotta, as coming up, you gotta learn how to provide for self. Especially during the times that you at right now. It's as a transitional time, you between being a boy and being a man. So you're learning right now. Out of high school, I've asked, what has been the biggest lesson you've learned so far as stepping into the adult world, quote unquote?
I'll say that ultimately you're only gonna have yourself in the end. Like different people, you'll have like similar goals with different people, but ultimately you have your own long-term goal, and that might not match up with everyone else's.
Like, what do you mean by everybody else?
Just like anybody that isn't you has
Like, you mean like friends and family?
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask. So let me ask you, what is after being out of school, what are you looking to do right now with yourself? What are your thoughts of Arshaud in about 5 years, or what are you planning to, like your long-term goal?
I'll say eventually get my bachelor's degree.
Getting your bachelor's degree in what?
In chemistry or biochem.
Biochem. That's my topic. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna leave that for another day. So what are you looking to do with biochem?
I'm looking to become a pathologist.
And do what with that?
Like study medicine and diseases.
Dope. We need that. I would say a solution for our common problem on camera, but I'm just not. We talk about that later, though. we need pathogens. We need black people in them labs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Y'all know what I mean. Some of your high school friends, what have you learned from graduating and leaving the city? Because I know you based in Colorado now, right?
Yeah.
How did it feel to leave your high school city, and go somewhere else?
I don't really like it I mean, like moving to Colorado kind of like showed me how much I didn't really appreciate living in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I didn't realize how much I would miss it. I was taking it for granted.
Are you missing anything?
Not anything big, just small memories.
Like friends and stuff?
Yeah, just hanging out, partying. But
Well, let me ask you this. As an elder person, are you really missing anything not partying?
nope.
So let me ask you this. As a young man, I think this is very pivotal. What are your friends that stayed in the city doing right now? Do you feel like your moving has been an advantage from you? Or do you feel like it's been a disadvantage when looking at some of the people that you graduated with?
It's been an advantage.
In what way?
I'll say financially.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally. Got to see different places.
That's why I asked. I think it's, because when I graduated, I stayed somewhat in my city, but I was between two cities. I was between Pittsburgh and Pomona. But I left Pittsburgh and I came back to Pomona. So I kind of ran into people that I went to school with before, but we was grown. And I was just seeing the difference of me being exposed to different outlets and different areas, different people. I was more well-rounded than just thinking Pomona was my world. You gotta look at the advantage of leaving, because you get a different worldview. Get a different worldview. Okay, that's cool. So right now, parents, were you raised with both your father and your mother?
Yeah, for up until I was about 11.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, they divorced.
They divorced. And who did you end up living with?
My mom.
My mom. But do you still see your father?
Yeah, I did.
Dope. How was having your father been an inspiration for you as a young black man?
I'll say he taught me he emphasized defending myself.
Mm-hmm.
And looking out for myself.
Mm-hmm. And what else? Like, what is when you say the best lesson your father has given you? That you still, people like, what, he was right.
I'll say not to make any decisions while I'm angry. Because a lot of times I didn't heed that warning, so I had to suffer the consequences from it.
Well, like what? Like what kind of consequences?
Like getting arrested, getting expelled twice.
It happens. It happens. I mean, like I said, I'm here now, and I tell you now, I don't got a diploma. I got GED. I didn't graduate high school. I didn't graduate middle school. But I'm here. You feel me?
I know.
So at the end of the day, as long as we keep pushing and you got that knowledge from your father, to not make decisions when we want to blow up, when we want to jump on the nigga. We got to learn to be like, let me just fall back and plan some things. So moving calculated, that's a good tool to have, and that's one thing I'm glad you hit on that, because a lot of us don't have fathers.
Yeah.
And you see the urban plantation terrorists, the gang member, He wasn't just shooting, rob, kill niggas, and it's like, bro, he want to think about it when he in jail.
I know.
So that's why it's a great thing you hit on. So let me ask you this, you know, as a 19-year-old brother, I'm sure you see a lot of things that's been going on last year, right?
Yeah.
Socially. Let me get your thoughts. What are your thoughts on just how all the police shootings and, you know, the violence in our communities? What do you think about stuff like that?
I feel like, because I know that black people are more likely to be killed by police more than other races, but I feel like the media's exaggerating a bit.
Exaggerating in what way? Like, break that down, please.
They're like highlighting, like, that's like the only problem within the black community that they highlight, and they profit off that as well.
I agree. We just saying what Black Lives Matter. Speaking of that, what are your thoughts? What do you think about Black Lives Matter? Because, you know, that was kind of big, and I know a lot of young. He put his head down. Like, a lot of young people was kind of big on Black Lives Matter. So please, what's your thoughts on Black Lives Matter?
Me personally, I don't like it because like a lot of people who participate in that just treat it as a trend. You know, like they'll hop on it just because like their favorite media outlet is talking about it, but then like as soon as they stop talking about it, they just act like it never even happened.
True. You mean as in like people they doing a lot of posting and just moving on with their lives?
Exactly.
Okay. Let me ask you. So what do you think will help us, you know, in this position right now? What do you think is a solution, just from your young mind, that you think that we can utilize to curb all these police killings and false activism that's going on by many people?
I'll say just like emphasizing that we need to defend ourselves. You know, like, of course, like we can't just break the law on purpose, but we still have to defend ourselves. You know, because it's our lives versus theirs at the end of the day.
Who is theirs?
The police.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what do you define as defending yourself?
I'll say like doing your best to communicate with the officer about the issue, but if he's not willing to communicate, then he's like resorting to violence when you know you're in the right, then you have to defend yourself.
Okay, I understand what you mean. We don't need to dig deeper into that part. Okay. So I mean, did you vote last year?
No, I didn't.
Why not? You a coon, brother. No, I'm playing. You know, that's what they would say. But why did you feel like you didn't need to participate in the voting?
Because like none of them are gonna do anything for black people at the end of the day.
I agree. You talking about Trump and Biden?
Not just them, like none of the candidates.
Oh, you mean it's like if it's presidential or all elections?
All elections.
Okay. Well, would you vote for a black politician?
I don't see no point in it, you know, because we're still in this country.
Well, what do you mean?
Because I know that like he ultimately can't change our problems because like it's ultimately like who's above him who like controls all of this, and that's who we don't.
Who is they and them?
All the presidential candidates.
So do you feel like they're not gonna do nothing for black people?
Nope.
So what do you think black people should do for themselves?
Just focus on generational wealth, saving their money.
So let me ask you this, because I hear a lot of niggas talking about generational wealth. Like I was talking to my mans a few weeks ago, and you know that's just a buzzword.
Yeah.
Do you know how many children are born out of wedlock?
No, I don't.
80%. 80% of black children are born out of wedlocks in single parent homes. Did you know that?
I never knew that.
So I ask you this question. If 80% of black children are born out of single-parent homes, how can we build generational wealth if we do not have families?
You can't.
Exactly. So, that's why, I know you're a young person. We hear these words that people use and talk about what they're going to. But when you hear somebody say generational wealth, ask them if they have a wife or a husband. We can't, because who you going to pass that wealth down to?
Your children, but
we don't have a family. If I have a child and I don't have a husband to help me or a wife to help me, I'm just paying bills. Ain't no wealth gonna get generated because I gotta focus on providing for myself and this child, and no help. So I'm saying the family is everything. But we're going into that dating, brother. I gotta ask you this: